Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for March 1st, 2010. This is Patrick Ceresna. First off, I want to take a look at the S&P 500 using that SPDR exchange traded fund symbol SPY. And for the last week or so, we've been talking about this retracement zone in the 109 to 111 area as a point where we're going to see if the market reverses and heads back down for a retest of the previous lows in this kind of a fashion. On Thursday, we had an opportunity to break down the market and start a sell cycle, but the sellers never came in. And essentially the market had a strong reversal day and is actually coming and testing higher. If we have any technical breaks above the 111 area on the upside, would be a good indication that we may in fact be beginning at least a week-long rally for a retest back up towards the previous highs in the 115 to 116 area. If we have that technical break higher, that would only be a short-term bullish move. We still believe the market is going to consolidate for the first quarter of the year, but if we may be far more range-bound rather than downwards declining. So even if we trade this short-term move higher, if we have again that technical break above a 111, we're not looking for it to be a sustained rally in the big picture. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is the symbol JLO, and more or less overhead resistance over the last month has been up in the 22.5 to 23 area. The subsequent sell-off found support right along previous resistance at that 20.5 to 21 area and has been working its way higher. So far, the price action in the regional banks has been relatively bullish. So if we have any technical breakouts higher, especially if the S&P is given an indication to want to actually make that move higher as well, then we may in fact see a breakout that could potentially test as high as the $24 area, and if it's a very strong move, it could even push as high as the 25 area on the upside. But in order to confirm that, we'd want to see the S&P make a technical break higher, and as well we get over that $23 overhead resistance. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Index, which is the symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies. We had a pretty strong sell-off in the month of January on the downside that tested that 98 to 100 focal point on the downside. Subsequently, we've seen a retracing rally come up right into the dead center of that retracement zone. We were looking and continue to look to see whether this index will roll down and begin a new sell cycle out of this zone. But again, if the broader markets are actually positioned to make their move higher, then we may in fact see this index continue to go higher toward the 104 to 106 area, or maybe even a retest as high as the 108 to 110 area before we have another turn down in that cycle. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is the symbol RUF. And in spite of last week's weakness that came in here in the home builder stocks, overall there has been positive price action as the home builders keep trying to push higher. And every time they pull back, they only retrace and then subsequently find accumulation. And so we're not particularly bearish at all on the home builders. But at the same regards, there's probably only marginal upside in these initial thrusts into the whole market finishes basing out. If in fact we find support around this $10 line where we see these shadows on the candles in the last 3 trading sessions, then we could in fact see the home builders not only retest that 1060 high that they put in here, but also maybe even thrust higher up toward the 1125, 1150. That will probably be accompanied by an S&P rally. So if we in fact on the broader markets roll over, then we may also see downside testing. So we're going to want to see the S&P first make its move, but the home builders certainly have positive price action. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index. which is the symbol FUM, and in spite of broader natural gas weakness in the commodity itself, the natural gas stocks continue to actually stay relatively range bound within that 95 to 115 zone. We at this point had a little bit of selling last week that has reversed back on the upside. Again, if the whole market continues to have a bullish tone for one more push, then the natural gas index should come for a retest of the 113 to 115 area. We're not particularly looking for a bullish move to break much higher than that, but it certainly can follow through on the upside there if the whole market is rallying. Next, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is the symbol UKX. We also saw some consolidating last week with a reversal candle coming on the upside here on the FTSE. If in fact we can get any momentum above this 535 area, would immediately open the window for a retest of the 550 to 555 highs. Again, this would happen with all global markets moving higher in unison, so we'll see that in the S&P and the FTSE probably simultaneously if it happens. If we have all in the same regards, if the S&P never makes those breaks higher, then we probably may be seeing the retracement zone right in here. So again, we're waiting for the market to give us a cue as to whether or not it's going to make that break higher, and then we're going to be looking for the upside follow through. If we continue to kind of consolidate here and roll back down, if the S&P is rolling the same time as the FTSE, then we'll be looking for a retest all the way on downside back to the 500 to 505. So again, we're just going to wait for the market to give us a cue. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.